And then, you know, I heard that Ronnie had left, you know, and so I went out and celebrated some more. And, you know,
I think everybody did.
Yeah. And then the guys called me up. We was in touch anyway. We were always in touch, you know. We called up, and I wanted to get back with the band anyway. You know what I mean?
Linken ist ja auch egal, jedenfalls hier im Studio sitzt jetzt einer, der ganz müde aussieht, weil er offenbar in den letzten Tagen sehr wenig Schlaf gehabt hat, nämlich der neue Frontman von Black Sabbath, Ian Gillan. Ian, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you? Nice to be back again.
You look a little bit tired, Ian, because you seem to have a little bit...
late night last
night. Yeah, right.
No, I feel fine. I'm going to get 2 or 3 hours sleep before the show. I'm feeling good, actually, just a little tired.
Also 2 oder 3 Stunden Schlaf wird er noch haben vor der Show heute Abend, aber er fühlt sich eigentlich ganz gut. Bevor wir ein bisschen über Black Sabbath reden, deine Aktivitäten bei deiner neuen Gruppe, würde ich sagen, spielen wir doch nochmal was von der ersten LP, die dich als Sänger von Black Sabbath zeigt. Before we talk about the new thing in your life a little bit, frontman of Black Sabbath, etc., etc., I hope you agree that we play a cut from the first album showing Ian Gillan as frontman of Black Sabbath. Ian Gillan als Sänger. Ian, als ich zum ersten Mal auf dem Plattencover gesehen habe, dass du jetzt bei Black Sabbath bist, da habe ich fast nicht geglaubt, was ich da sehe. Vielleicht erzählst du uns ein bisschen, wie es dazu kam. Ian, when I first saw on the cover Ian Gillan fronting a Black Sabbath, I didn't believe my eyes, baby. What is all this about?
Well, I finished with my band at the end of last year. And I was going to take a long rest.
You had that enormous tour last year.
Yeah, and my voice was very tired, and I've been doing 200 shows every year since time began, you know, so I was going to take a rest for 6 months. And then I had a telephone call, would I be interested in joining Black Sabbath? And first I said, I don't know, you know, that I expected they were tax exiles and laid back and lost interest in rock and roll or something. So I arranged to meet them. And I met Tony and Geezer.
That was in England?
In England, in a pub, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we finished drinking when the pub closed in the evening. And I got on great with them, and I found that they were still very hungry, very alive, and still very much believing in rock and roll. And so I was impressed. And we got on very well. The personal chemistry was excellent from the beginning.
Ja, das ist ganz einfach. Sagt Ian, es war vor einem Jahr habe ich mit meiner eigenen Band aufgehört, mit der Ian Gillan Band. Meine Stimme war ziemlich kaputt nach dieser enormen Tour, die wir gemacht haben, die auch über Deutschland ging. Fast 200 Konzerte im Jahr, ist ja schon eine ganze Menge. Wie gesagt, meine Stimme war kaputt, ich selbst war auch ein bisschen kaputt, brauchte ein bisschen Ruhe und habe mich etwas zurückgezogen und habe mich dann weiter, nachdem ich fast 6 Monate Pause gemacht habe, umgesehen, was ich machen kann. Bin durch Zufall in England in einem Pub, in einer Kneipe mit 2 Musikern der Gruppe Black Sabbath zusammengetroffen. Das heißt, sie hatten mich vorher angesprochen per Telefon, ob ich nicht Lust hätte, bei Black Sabbath einzusteigen. Und das war natürlich was völlig Überraschendes, völlig Neues für mich. Ich hatte gedacht, dass Black Sabbath ein bisschen durchhängen, dass sie eigentlich ihr Interesse an Heavy Rock, an Heavy Metal etwas verloren hätten, dass überhaupt der Karren ein bisschen im Dreck saß. Aber als ich die beiden dann traf in der Kneipe, dann haben wir uns ganz gut verstanden. Wir haben bis in den frühen Morgen zusammengesessen und auch ein Gläschen getrunken. Und am frühen Morgen, als dann so die Sonne aufging, da waren wir uns eigentlich ziemlich einig, war ich mir auch einig mit mir selber, ich würde bei Black Sabbath einsteigen. Und da bin ich nun. Meine nächste Frage an Ian. Die Musik ist ja nun, wenn man ein bisschen vergleicht mit Deep Purple, man muss immer auch ein bisschen über Deep Purple sprechen, wenn man mit Ian Gillan spricht. Wenn man, wie gesagt, mit Purple vergleicht, mit der Gillan Band, dann ist das ja doch etwas mehr Schwermetall, was da jetzt über die Bühne kommt. Diese Platte hat ja wohl auch gerade gezeigt. Wie fühlst du dich denn mit denen so zusammen auf der Bühne, jetzt auf der Tour? If you compare the music, talking on Ian Gillan is necessarily talking a little bit on Deep Purple too.
Sure.
If you compare Deep Purple, the Deep Purple music, the music of your own band that you finished with last year, as you told us, and the music of Black Sabbath, then one could have the impression that Black Sabbath is a little bit more heavy metal than it used to be before. How do you feel with these guys on stage on this tour?
Very good, very good. In fact, if you use the phrase heavy metal, I suppose Black Sabbath were always the heaviest of all the rock bands. I mean, they were heavier than Deep Purple and Zeppelin in terms of that kind of approach to music. And I've been doing all sorts of different things with my own band, much more excuse me, much more varied.
Mhm.
And it's great to be back actually singing really powerful rock music completely. There is colour and dynamism in the show, but it's absolutely committed to heavy rock. It's great. It's a wonderful feeling again. And I can go completely crazy now without the responsibility of fronting my own band. I can just be one of 4 guys. And the presence is lovely.
Für mich fantastisch auf der Bühne mit Black Sabbath zusammen, sagte Ian. Habe ich vorher auch nicht gedacht, aber es geht wirklich gut los. Die Tour ist speziell für mich ganz persönlich eine ganz wichtige, ganz positive Erfahrung. Und da du gerade ansprichst den Begriff Heavy Metal, es war eigentlich immer schon so, dass die Gruppe Black Sabbath das Schwerste war, das Metallendste war, was es auf dem Rocksektor, auf dem englischen Power-Rock-Sektor gegeben hat. Eigentlich mit viel mehr Druck haben die immer gespielt, Black Sabbath, als Led Zeppelin oder auch Deep Purple. Und ich muss sagen, wie gesagt, ich fühle mich sehr gut jetzt mit den 4 Typen auf der Bühne. Ich fühle mich als einer von 4. Wir arbeiten gut zusammen und ich bin froh, dass ich in dieser Band zusammen spielen kann. Ich nehme an, bei der Tour, die Offenburg, Düsseldorf, Mannheim und heute Abend Stuttgart tangiert. Die Tour wird da einiges davon zeigen, von diesem musikalischen Feeling, was da rüberkommt. Mit Ian Gillan, Vocals, Tony, what's his name?
Iomi.
Tony Iommi, guitar,
He's a butler.
on the bass, and Bill Ward on the drums.
No, Bill Ward is sick. After we made the album, he's gone back to America. He's in hospital. And we have now Bevan from ELO drumming with us, which is a bigger surprise than me drumming. But he's loving it, because for the first time he can really play loud. You know?
Is he in the material already?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I mean he's playing really.
Wenn Sie in das Konzert gehen, viel Spaß dran haben. Black Sabbath, nochmal sage ich, wo es ist. Mit dieser Finnen, Böblingen Sporthalle, Black Sabbath, werden im Vorprogramm ein bisschen angeheizt von Diamond Head und Lieder vor Ort. Have a nice gig tonight with Bev on the drums.
Great.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Here with us tonight, Tony Iommi, longtime member of the band, Geezer Butler.
Hello there.
Hello. And brand new member, Ian Gillan.
Hello.
Good to have you all here in the studio tonight. Your first visit to MTV, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
New record out from the band. It's called Born Again. Give everybody a look at the cover of Born Again. And there has been some rumors floating around, at least around here anyway. I've been hearing it on the radio. It's been in the local press that this album called Born Again has been titled Born Again because the band has been born again in the Christian sense.
No.
Want to comment on that?
No.
Yeah, comment.
Oh, not at all, no.
I think it's just a question of people immediately leap to the conclusion that there's some sort of Christian satanic connotation. But it's really, I mean, no one's really got an exclusive on that phrase, you know. I mean, it's really born again because the band's new, revitalized. It's also the title of one of the first songs we did in the studio, and it seemed like quite an evocative phrase, so we decided to use it for the cover.
When you say the band is born again, by that you mean that you are now in the band, right, Ian?
Well,
it's
no.
funny that you're doing the talking for
It's
these
like
guys.
revitalised, really.
Yeah. It's, I mean, the Sabbath thing is strong, but it's just we've had a chance to all have a fresh start. Really, that's the idea.
Part of the Born Again concept is that you now have Bevan in the band of ELO fame, but he's not on the record. Bill Ward is on the record. But maybe you can clarify what Bev's role is at this point. See, just on the tour.
Do you want to clarify what Bev's role is?
Is that a hard question? I thought that was...
Well, Bev's studying really quick, actually, when Bill had to leave due to illness again.
Yeah.
And Bev's been doing the tour with us, and he'll be, I think, a member of the band now, will he?
Well, his loan from ELO is becoming more and more permanent, and I think we'd all like him to stay.
You guys are buddies, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I can't stand Bev personally, but
well, at least on stage.
No, he's great. He's great. Fits in great. He's also going potty now because he's got a chance to really play loud. You know, I think over the last few years he's been fairly constrained in what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
And like all drummers like going berserk, you know. So He's loving it.
So it looks like at this point that he may be on with the band beyond the tour.
We hope so.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea, but obviously...
I think he's released a statement now, don't know, by this time.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. There's not too much that you can say, but I mean, it's just all being sorted out legally and everything, but we're fairly confident.
We have a couple of pictures of your stage set. We've been talking about the stage set, the Stonehenge set. Maybe we could flash these up on the screen, like this one here. Can you get a look at that? Can you see that from where you are?
Oh, yeah.
Sort of describe to us what it is that's going on now. Those are the Stonehenge blocks down towards the front, I suppose, and on the sides.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, this is the miniature set
With the little miniature dolls.
No, that's the miniature Stonehenge. Because what happened was that, in fact, the original Stonehenge that we built was bigger than the Stonehenge in Salisbury Plain, and it was great. But when we found how actually big it was, we set it all up on the first night, and no one could see us.
What about this next shot? We have another shot we can go to here.
Oh, that's just looking up into the sky at the lighting rig. That's part of it. That's the center. That's the center part of it.
It sounds like it's going to be an extravagant kind of a show, 60 by 40 stage, we've heard. I want to talk to you a little bit more about the show, and certainly more about video that I hope is going to be coming. What we'll do here is go to some video from Spandau Ballet and come back and talk a little bit more with Black Sabbath. Anyway, Ian. I mentioned on the last break, I wanted to talk about the videos. Tony, maybe you can tell us a little bit about...
Don't ask me. Go on.
Okay, Ian.
No, go on.
We're halfway through it at the moment.
Which tunes are you going to do?
We're doing Trashed and Zero the Hero.
So you're doing two then?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we don't know exactly which is going to be used first or exactly how they're going to turn out. It's a conceptual thing, which is going to be a combination of some shots taken from some concerts we've done in Canada. And that's going to be overlaid and mixed in with the rest of the story, which has not quite been finalised. They're doing that in London at the moment.
Who's directing the video?
Lindsay, what's his name? You know, the other...
Oh, sure.
The other fella.
Lindsay, what's his name? It's done on some of my favorite videos.
That's right, yeah. He's my hero.
Ballpark. Do you know about how far off they are? Give us a ballpark estimate. Are they a month away, or 2 months, or 3 weeks?
No, pretty close, I would say.
Should be ready by the end of the month.
Yeah.
By the end of the month?
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah, within a couple of weeks, I should say.
Okay. I have one more question for you, Ian, because the last we had heard, we knew about the solo thing that you were doing in the band that you had together. And then we heard that a doctor said, don't sing for a year, or you will permanently ruin your voice. What's happened that now you can sing Black Sabbath
That's
material?
a bit distorted, actually. Once or twice before, I've had to take a break. I think every singer gets problems with nodes. All it is like blisters on your tonsils, you know, blisters on your vocal cords. And the problem is when you get blisters on your blisters, then you've got to take a rest, you know. And it's just a simple rescue, and it wasn't a year, it was 6 months. 6 months was plenty, 3 to 6 months.
So you're not going to bow out of this tour in the middle or anything?
No, it's going fine. I haven't got blisters on my blisters at the moment, so everything's fine.
Right. I know America is looking forward to seeing Black Sabbath in concert. We've been running the dates. And before we get back to video, Geezer, who has been very silent and brooding all evening.
We've got a Black Mass to go to.
Well, it's getting on time, I think. This is your camera right here, Geezer. And there's a special message, I suppose, you have.
I'd just like to say Happy Halloween to my son, Biff, or better known as Damien.
Damien, just like the Omen.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys really live this stuff, don't you? Jeez. Well, I want to thank you all for coming.
Nothing subtle at all about the sound of Black Sabbath. The heavy metal rock group has been blasting out the mega decibels for 13 years now and can lay claim to a legion of loyal fans. Black Sabbath has been accused of promoting black magic, but the spell they weave is strictly solid gold. The group is back on the road with a couple of new faces these days, and they stopped by to talk with Alicia Juber.
Black Sabbath is back together and back on tour, but with a brand new lineup. Tony Iommi, you were with the original group. Why don't you introduce everybody?
Okay, Ian Gillan.
Good morning, good evening, good day.
Bevan, Geezer Butler, and me, Tony Iommi. That's me.
Now, you're new.
Yep.
And you're new.
Yep.
You both have come from very different kinds of backgrounds to a heavy metal group, a very popular heavy metal group with a long history. Did it take a lot of thinking to make the decision to join?
Not once I'd met Tony and Geezer.
Why is that?
Well, because I realised that we were similar. I was impressed by their attitudes, their sort of hunger and drive and belief in what they were still doing after all these years. And also we have the same habits.
The same
Habits.
habits. What kinds of habits?
Drinking habits.
Terrible drinking habits.
The first meeting we had was in a pub in England, halfway between London and Birmingham, and I think after about 2 hours the meeting was adjourned to under the table.
So you knew these were your kind of guys.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, you started out you were telling me that you were the first Jesus Christ?
Well, not the original.
I mean, it wasn't in your bio and about your parents.
I think I'll be getting a better record deal if I was, but no, I was the original Jesus Christ on the original recording of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Now, that's a big step to go from that to Black Sabbath, a group considered, connected somehow with evil. Was that a consideration?
Well, not at all, really. I mean, it was so long since I did the Superstar thing, and I think a lot of people were asking me, how did you feel, and did you think a lot about Jesus and everything when I did it? Well, I didn't actually think about it at all, except at the end when I was doing the sayings from the cross. And that was, I thought a bit about that. But afterwards I thought about it, because people were asking questions all the time, so you do have to give it some thought and give a reasonable answer. And obviously a lot of people have been asking about the satanic connotations of Black Sabbath and everything.
Sure.
And really the only answer is that we, as far as I'm concerned, we're just playing music, and I think that we're not trying to do any harm to anybody, and I don't think there's any evil intention. It's just that sometimes this image is taken a little too seriously by a lot of people. I think it frightens some people as well. But basically we just concentrate on the music.
You came from an entirely different kind of music. You had been with ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing kind of a soft rock. Now you're into the big, heavy metal.
Yeah.
That was a big change for you.
Well, I guess it was, but I started off playing real heavy rock and roll music. That's the sort of drumming I like to do. I started way off many, many years ago, around before Jesus Christ here was born. Playing in a band called The Move. We did a lot of heavy stuff in those days, and then ELO sort of mellowed out rather, and I got a little bit lazy. But now there's no chance of that now with these guys. I have to work hard every night.
Now, heavy metal, how would you describe the music that you make?
Not me.
See, I don't want to do that. Well, try.
I think just people put that label on it, heavy metal, as a heavy rock band. It's just that label, really, heavy metal.
But there's different kinds of rock.
Yeah, it's just a heavy chord, vocal, drum, everything else. Noise.
Loud. How about loud? Would that word help you in your description?
It might.
We have a roll-in of one of your older concerts.
Very old.
Just to maybe kind of help us with a definition of heavy metal. What about the audiences that come to see your groups? Are you concerned about their hearing? Are you I mean, these are young kids. They have lots of things to do. They have long lives ahead of them, and they won't be able to hear anything.
Well, we have the same problem as that.
You have, pardon? What about the decibel level of the music that you play? You get a lot of criticism about that. What are your feelings about that? What about you?
I think it's the size of the arenas that we play. You're playing to 20,000 people.
They can all hear you. There's no question, no problem with that.
And the kids come to expect it. They want to be smashed up against the wall, volume and things like that. It's a lot quieter on stage actually than out front. But the kids, in fact, if you're not loud enough, the kids are the first to complain to you.
Complain now.
Yeah, they just want to have it washed all over them. The sound.
Felicia talking with members of the heavy metal rock group Black Sabbath. Night Watch continues in just a moment, so please stay tuned.
Back now with Black Sabbath. You know, your theme, Black Sabbath, has been connected with evil and that whole concept. How did you come up with that? And how has it held up through the years? You've been together now 15 years. You've gotten a lot of criticism about it, a lot of questions about it, and yet that's still your name, and you're still, you know, talking about the underside of life.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you know I am. The one who doesn't want to talk to me. Mommy. What about that thing?
Asking me, you should write the words.
Well, I think we just, the music needed to go in a different direction from, when we first got together, the music wanted to sounded evil anyhow, so obviously the lyrics went with that, but it wasn't only about Satanism and stuff like that. It was about, again, anti-war, anti-nuclear. It was, a lot of it was science fiction, as in things like Iron Man. And it was just like, complimenting the music, really, the lyrics.
Is this kind of a large joke? I mean, you guys are just guys.
Well, if it's an expensive one, then if it is.
It's paying off very well, but I mean, you know, I think a lot of people think you're probably into devil worship and satanics and a lot of heavy stuff. And I may be wrong, but you come off as just four guys out there making music, having fun and making some money. I mean, am I wrong?
It's an entertainment, more, you know. It's what we do best.
No, I'm talking about the evil thing.
Well, I just joined. I'm a Lewis member, and I don't find any one of them evil at all. The friendliest guys in the world.
So why that theme, and why still now? I mean, this is many years later, and you're still, your new album has a picture of what looks like the baby Lucifer. It's called Born Again, you know, with the long claws and the great-looking kid. You know, you're still at it. Why?
Because we're good at it.
It's the work.
We're good at being bad. Is that the term?
It's the work of the devil, really.
What do you mean?
Well, basically, I think there's a certain amount of genuine writing to uphold the image which was started a long time ago. And I think, quite frankly, the more people start attacking us and criticising us, the more we're tempted to follow that route. I think
it helps.
Partially.
Back to the
partially it's being mischievous, I suppose, but in another sense, it's also taking a swipe at things that we don't like. And there are a lot of things that irritate us. And I think one of the themes of rock and roll when it started was to be rebellious and anti-establishment and to try and knock down a lot of the things which weren't good for young people. And I think that attitude still stays with us now. And I think the more that we're attacked, we don't go out and attack anyone, but the more we're attacked from establishment sort of ideas, then the more we kind of retaliate. And it comes out tongue-in-cheek sometimes, but also comes out in very valid lyrics, which are either a condemnation or a praise of things in contemporary life.
Do you think that your audience is taking you seriously? Are they hearing what you're saying, the way you're trying to communicate it, or are they taking you more seriously than you had intended?
I think they're taking us seriously as much as we're putting over.
I think they're taking us serious as musicians and the music, but I don't think that they go out and worship Satan because of it, you know. We're not.
There were a couple stories people told me. They said that the Son of Sand Killer used to listen to your music, and that one young woman committed suicide while listening to your records.
But you also had people like Charles Manson that listened to the Beatles stuff, you know, like Helter Skelter and stuff like that.
So you figure...
No matter what music you play...
You don't feel responsible or connected to any of that.
You're always going to get somebody that's going to read something into it and...
That's why they can always put something onto it.
So
do what they
new
want.
members, but no new direction as far as evil. You're going to be still out there selling the old Black Sabbath image and making that
the new Black Sabbath
very
image.
Audible sound.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks for being with us on Night Watch.
Thank
Black
you.
Sabbath.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
One of the most interesting revelations to come to light recently has been the press announcement of the new Sabbath lineup, which is Ian Gillan on vocals, Tony Iommi on guitar, Geezer Butler on bass, and Bill Ward on drums. Whilst the basic facts have been laid down roughly in print, an awful lot of stones have been left unturned, so let's get down to brass tacks. Boys, thanks very, very much indeed for letting me come down to see you in Birmingham. We're very busy rehearsing. Ian, can I turn to you first? Last time we talked was down at Kingsway.
Yeah.
And you were just completing the mix for the Magic album.
Yeah.
Which was a ginormous success. Really good. I hope that Driver's song wasn't anything to do with me, incidentally.
Which one? Driving Me Mad?
That's right.
No, what was it called? Driving Me Wild?
Something like that.
Or Demon Driver? Demon Driver. One of those two.
Sort of the epic one, really.
A Demon Driver, yeah. Can't remember.
That Bluesy Bluesy was a tremendous number as well.
Yeah.
A good one. Then you did the Magic tour, and unfortunately, the old vocal cords went a bit funny.
Well, it was on the third day, actually. My voice disappeared entirely. The doctor said I got nodes, and I had to stop singing, completely. So I couldn't cancel the tour because everyone had gone bankrupt. So we decided to just plug on and do what we could. And in fact, I stopped smoking, drinking, and messing around with women, and for a day or two. And I managed to get through it. It was all right. But I still had these nodes, and I had to sort of stay off the road for about 6 months to enable them to get better, which I have done. In fact, we're not going to be doing any live shows till August.
Did you have an operation?
No. The operation was one of the alternatives, but the alternative I chose was to rest it, which it just takes longer. That's all.
So what did you do with the Gillan band in the meantime, then?
Stopped. We just wound it up.
Yeah.
There was nothing more to do, really. We just had an album. We couldn't do any touring, and we can't keep a band alive, if you're not working, not drawing any income. So we just decided to stop without any real plans for the future. If in 6 months' time it was still there, we might have got back together again. But in the meantime, you know what happened.
Yeah, very true.
I had a telephone call. I met these lunatics, and now I'm very happy to be part of Black Sabbath.
Smashing. So you two guys, that's Tony and Geezer, you contacted Ian, did you?
Well, it was arranged via the office and by your office, and we met in a pub in
Oxfordshire.
Oxford. It's one of those sort of meetings that we met halfway, and we went from there. Really, just had a drink and a talk. All our ideas were the same. And then arranged another meeting after we were there all day.
We spent about 9 hours. I think the first meeting lasted about 9 hours.
Slept on the floor.
It was a really good meeting. We got on. We found we were all very compatible in it.
Yeah.
And you felt that you could fill the post then of Black Sabbath's type of music?
I didn't look at it that way. I just looked at it in terms of, I was really excited. I didn't know what to make of it until I met Tony and Geezer. I had no idea what to make of it at all. I mean, I knew what a big name Sabbath was, but at the same time, I didn't know. It's very strange sometimes joining a situation like that. But as soon as we sat down, I mean, we didn't even have to play any music before we knew we'd get on all right. And that's the most important thing, because you can be a fine band, but if you don't get on, that's no fun at all. I think we've all experienced problems like that in the past, where you sort of go on the road and it's treated like a job of work, and there's no real fun or partnership or anything else at all. You can't live with someone on the road without enjoying their company. It just doesn't work, and it in the end reflects on a band, and you end up with a band which is pretty short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah. In the meantime, of course, we had to go back a little while. You had disbanded Black Sabbath. Did Ronnie Dio leave by himself, or did you ask him to leave, or what?
No, he just realised that we couldn't go any. It wasn't working.
No.
So he just said.
He was on the shortlist for a few other bands, though, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah. We told him to go away, and he did. And he took Vinny with him.
Oh, he took Vinny with him?
Yeah, because we didn't want him.
Why, did you not like him as a drummer, no?
Yeah, he was all right. But he kept reading Love Box.
Wasn't getting down to the business then.
That's right.
It was just purely like session people, really. That's all it was. It wasn't a band as such, you know.
I think Ronnie Dio was excellent with Rainbow, and I liked him with the Electric Oath as well. But quite honestly, I never thought he was the guy for Sabbath. That's only my opinion.
Well, he's good at opera and all that. You know, that's...
He's a good singer.
That's what I mean, operatic rock style of singing, which he did with Rainbow. But, see, Rainbow was based in the States anyway, and came out of sort of American-style production. I mean, Richie sort of thinks American now anyway. I mean, he and I have had many conversations about that. I think he's wasting his time anyway, personally, at the moment.
So you're not over keen on his style of music at the moment?
Oh, Richie's a great, talented player, but I think I've not heard him play anything decent for years.
No.
Quite frankly. I mean, his ability as a guitar player, these melodies and structures and that sort of thing still come through, but there's no fire, there's no animal there anymore, as far as I'm concerned. I've told him that. Told him he should come back to England and live here and relearn everything he's forgotten.
Typical British-type guitar playing.
Well, no, about life, really, just about his whole approach to things.
Yeah.
I mean, reading between the lines, I can sense that's a lot of the problem that was going on with Sabbath beforehand, because you've got American culture and British culture mixed, and they don't blend that well, unless you're really lucky.
Fair enough. That's what we found. We found having what with Ronnie and being American, it just wasn't like it would be if it was an English band. When you're all English bands, it's a great combination.
So, of course, we see now an old member of the Sabbath crew coming in, Bill Ward. Welcome back.
Smelly Ward.
Welcome back to Great Britain.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to be back.
So, why did you leave Sabbath in the first place? That's something I never knew.
I left because I couldn't handle myself anymore. I couldn't handle a lot of things. I had a lot of problems. A lot of things happened to me that weren't particularly good. You know, there's some deaths in the family and just general relationships. Period. You know, there's a lot of things that were happening to me, and I couldn't handle it. You know, and I was screwing up. I was screwing up a lot of things. You know, so I just couldn't. So I needed to kind of take time out, but that time out led into worse things, which I've been dealing with, you know, and I had to deal with a lot of the problems which I had, you know.
Do you wish to illustrate further on those or not?
Yeah, I had a heavy drinking problem.
Really?
Yeah, I had a heavy drinking problem, which I've now managed to arrest.
Hey, well done.
So, yeah, and I feel pretty good about it.
That's cool. You look really well.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Yes.
Terrific.
Yes. So, you know, that was... a lot of the problems, to say the least. Yeah, a hell of a lot.
Did you do any playing whilst you were off sick?
Not really. I tried. I had several efforts at trying different things. All of them unsuccessful. You know, everything that I touched turned. You know, that's a fact check. But yeah, that was basically it, and I feel pretty good. I feel real good today.
So, did you contact Tony and Geezer with reference to join the band back, or did
we were still in touch with it?
We were still in touch all the way through. We might have drifted apart a little bit. We've never drifted, you know, we've never sort of gone, you know, oh, sod you and all that bit, you know, I mean, I've always been, you know, thinking about the guys and stuff, you know, they're always there all the time, every day, you know. So it wasn't like a big, you know, I'm moving away and doing my own thing and all that stuff, you know. And then, you know, I heard that Ronnie had left, you know, and so I went out and celebrated some more. And, you know,
I think everybody did.
And then the guys called me up. We was in touch anyway. We were always in touch, you know. We called up, and I wanted to get back with the band anyway. You know what I mean? But I managed to sort out a lot of the things which I had to sort out, and you know, only I could sort them out, you know, and. That was about it, really.
Well, that's good.
You know,
Well, Peter,
I'm just really glad that I'm back.
Same here. I am too. Well, Peter, who looks after your guitars, Tony, says that Bill's playing better than ever, with more fire, more steam, and so it can only be good for Sabbath.
I'm trying to get better every day, you know.
His nose has grown.
Yeah, my nose has grown as well, you know. Yeah.
He's got 3 sticks now.
These appendages are a bit longer, aren't they?
Very, very subtle, Mr. Butler. Yeah, I like that one. Very subtle. So, you're here rehearsing at the moment. Obviously, you're rehearsing material for an album. Who's going to write the material? Because Ian used to write a lot of material for Purple, and you.
We thought you were, Chris.
Well, I will do, but you know how busy I am. God, there's nothing I'd like more. You'd never use any of my stuff, though. So, who's going to do the majority of the writing?
It's a group effort thing. Everybody's contributes.
Will you be still going for the Sabbath style, though?
Yeah.
As in some of the early Sabbath type material.
Oh, I don't know.
We don't know. We're still writing. It's just Sabbath. And that's it. You know, there's no sort of saying we're going to do exactly what we've done. The early type of stuff. It's just coming out as
stuff that we like now. You know, if it's something that we write and everybody likes it, and that's what we're pleased with. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. We're pleased with Henry here.
Yeah. He's a great vocalist. Tremendous. And shall you be doing any touring? Or have you booked yourselves in for any festivals or anything like that?
We'll be starting in August.
Yeah?
We're doing a few festivals around Europe in August. And, well, we're going to finish the album first. We should be recording from mid-May till the end of June. And then we'll start getting the stage show together for a few festivals around Europe. And then I suppose mid-September or thereabouts, we'll go to the States till about the end of November. Come back for Christmas. In January, then we'll be off again, maybe, do some more things.
What label will you be recording on? Because I would imagine, Ian, you were tied up with Virgin before.
Yeah.
Right, and these other boys were with Vertigo.
Yeah.
What?
It'll be Phonogram again in Europe.
Phonogram.
Black Sabbath would be Phonogram.
How does that leave you, sort of, with writing, copyrights, etc.?
Well, I've joined Black Sabbath permanently. I'm the singer in the band, and that's it. I have got certain obligations which have been shelved for the time being. I was going to do various little projects which I had committed to prior to joining the band, and I think they would just conflict now and confuse everyone if I started doing bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah.
I have got an obligation to perhaps give them an album by next year or something like that. So, you know, if I get a week off or something, I may go and do a song in the studio with a few people now and again when I'm feeling up, you know, when I'm feeling like it. But I see Sabbath as sort of occupying my time full time now. I've got an obligation, but I mean, I think now is the wrong time to even think about it. It'll just confuse the issue.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah, sure. Sure. And have you booked in for any festivals, Tony, in Great Britain, like Donington or Reading? Because Ian did Donington last year, and then the year before, and the year before that, you did Reading.
And the year before that.
And the year before that, was it? Yeah.
4 years on the trot.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there's arrangements being made now, but they're not confirmed as yet, are they?
No, it's not finalised yet. We will be doing a major show in Britain in the summer. And it could be on August Bank Holiday weekend, but we don't know where it is yet.
You liar.
It's not confirmed anyway. That's all we can say.
Will you be using Kingsway Studios to record the album?
No.
Being in studios?
No, I've sold it.
Have you?
Yeah. Closed it up. The lease finished in end of March, and I've wound it all up. I've sold all the equipment. I've really cleared the decks now. It's a new start for me with Sabbath. Totally new. I've even moved up here. I live up here now.
Oh, great.
So, you know, there's nothing. I'm trying to get rid of all the past, really. Just in terms of cluttering things up, you know, because, I mean, for the first 2 or 3 weeks rehearsals, it was a real pain because I had commitments and I had to keep dashing off for one day here or one day there for television shows and radio shows I promised to do and things like that. But they're all finished now, so everything I do is going to be in coordination with the band.
So what studio do you intend using then?
Yeah.
The Manor?
Yeah.
Oh, so where's that?
Kidlington, near Oxford.
Kidlington, yeah. Good. And shall you be producing your own material, or
yeah.
You're going to self-production?
Everything, yeah. Doing a lot ourselves.
Very good. I'm really looking forward to seeing some product anyway. Looking forward to seeing you on stage. I'm sure there are, thousands and thousands of other people who are as well.
Well,
So-
we're looking forward to it.
I bet you are too. Yeah. Well, thanks very, very much once more for inviting me down here to Birmingham. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you. Cheers.